Welcome to Lender. Respond to an ILL copy request in WorldShare Interlibrary Loan. In this video, as a lending library, you will have an overview of the steps you need to take before responding to a copy request. How to proceed responding no to the request. How to proceed responding yes. And how to respond using conditional. As a lending library, there are some steps to follow prior to responding to a copy request. From your WorldShare ILL homepage, first find your new copy request under your Can You Supply queue, either from the quick links in the middle or from the left side panel under Lending Requests. Click New Copies button or link. Then click the respective ID number or title to open the copy request. At this point, if your library has configured for the online catalog link to display here, then click the Search Your Online Catalog link to check if your library has the item available and is able to supply the copy as requested. You can configure automation to let the system to look at your rules and only send requests that your library is ready to supply. You can find the link to the self-paced training on automation on the description of this video. If your library cannot provide the copy as requested, then from the No button on the top, use the drop-down arrow to select the appropriate reason for not fulfilling the request. When you respond no, the request is automatically sent to the next lender in the lender string. If your library is the only one in the lender string, then the request status changes to unfilled. You can configure deflection policies to let the system respond no on your behalf, according to your rules. Find the link with this information on the description of this video. On the other hand, if your library can provide the copy as requested, prepare and save an electronic file of the item. As option, you can respond using Article Exchange, which is part of the service. Click the OCLC Article Exchange link, located on the form. Locate and select your file, and click Open button to upload it. Next, click the Drop File button. Article Exchange automatically creates a unique URL and password for the file to be retrieved. You can then click the Preview button located next to the URL field to confirm that you have the right file to be sent to the borrowing library. In case the file is the wrong one, click the Cancel button. Then click the OCLC Article Exchange link to attach the correct file. If you prefer, you can supply the copy file using a different method. Now you can apply your appropriate constant data and click the Yes button located on the top to respond yes to the request. The request moves to Shipped in Transit status. Another option is to respond conditional. Conditional is when your library can only provide the item if the borrowing library accepts your conditions. First, from the Conditional button, located on the top, use the drop-down arrow to select the appropriate condition to send to the borrowing library. You can edit the conditional text as needed. Now the request is updated as conditional, and the borrowing library has 4 days to respond if they accept or not your conditions. If the borrowing library does not accept your conditions or does not respond in 4 days, then the request moves automatically to the next lender in the lender string. If your library is the only library on the string, then the request status changes to unfilled. You will only see the request again if the borrowing library accepts your conditions. If the borrowing library accepts your conditions, then the request appears under the Conditions Accepted status on the left side panel. Click the Conditions Accepted button. You will notice under the Time to Respond column on the right that your days to respond was reset for the request. Click either the ID number or title to open the request. You will notice on the top that you no longer can respond conditional to this request. You can only respond no or yes. If you no longer can supply the item, then from the No button, use the drop-down arrow to select one of the reasons to not supply the item. In this case, the request is automatically sent to the next lender in the lender string. If your library is the only one in the lender string, then the request status changes to unfilled. If you can supply the item, then you can proceed by uploading the file to Article Exchange or supplying the copy using another option. Apply your appropriate constant data, then click the Yes button, located on the top, to answer yes to the request. Contact OCLC support in your region and find documentation and more training materials at help.oclc.org. Thanks for watching.